Hello everybody, my name's Aiden, I'm 35 and currently living in Leicester. So firstly, just to say thank you, a big thank you to Anna for setting up the platform and providing us with somewhere where we can speak. I've really enjoyed hearing opinions and views of so many different people. It's heartwarming, I found it. I originally did a video for this channel about 2 or 3 months ago and then never sent it in. And then like today I was like, time to do another one, so let's see how this one goes. But my first video, in that I actually said that, just to summarise it, I actually felt as though the pandemic was a good thing because it was bringing to the surface everything that's been hidden for so long, and as a result of that we are now closer to break free of the system than we were before, because the number of people that I meet now that have either come across alternative or new media as opposed to before the pandemic, the numbers are unequivocally higher. So yeah, I do, part of me thinks this is all necessary. I really do. As scary as it might and as frustrating as it might be, I do think it's necessary. Right, so I've just had a knock at the door from the police. I got back from Spain on Monday, went to Gran Canaria for a few days, and came back. You know what, I wish I didn't fill in that form because no one checked it at the airport or anything like that. But I came back, and then on Tuesday, day after I arrived back, today is, let me check the date. Today is the 15th of October, 2020. So I got back on Tuesday, and then I got a call from the NHS. And, you know, the first thing they did was like, what's your date of birth? And I believed it was them, but to be honest, I just couldn't be bothered. I just felt like not having it. So kind of just said, no, I'm not giving you any details, mate. Then he was a little bit cocky on the phone. He was like, yeah, all right, no worries. And then hung up. And after he hung up, I was like, I'm getting a knock at my door. I knew it. And then today, 2 days later, literally about 20 minutes ago, knock at the door. Answer the door. There she is. And she had the wrong name. She was like, yeah, is Lauren Stamford here? I was like, who's that? But she knew, there's obviously been some kind of admin mix up, and she's actually looking for me, right, Aiden. So she was like, I was like, I think you're looking for me. She was like, Lauren, I don't know who Lauren is. And then, yeah, she was like, when did you get back? You've been to Spain? I was like, yeah, I got back Monday. And then we sort of had a bit of a conversation. It caught me a little bit off guard, even though I was expecting it. And I wish I'd been a little bit more heart-centred with, you know, how I spoke to her. Not that I was like massively confrontational or anything, but the solution to this whole thing is to love, in my opinion. So I wish I'd kind of just stayed connected there, but I was kind of just a little bit angry, really. Not massively, but I could feel it inside of me. It's like, what are you doing? But, you know, I did raise a couple of things to her. I spoke to her very briefly about the PCR test, and I said, look, you know, you might want to look into that. And I asked her, look, you know, the amount of people now that can see this isn't about health, it's about control. So I asked her if she was questioning her orders, and I encouraged her to do that, because, you know, what I said to her was, you know, soldiers in Nazi Germany, what did they say? Just following orders. So, you know, but I also said to her, you know, if you feel like you're doing the right thing by policing people, then that's fair enough, you know, because I think from her perspective, all this is genuinely about health, and if that's where she still is in her understanding, then, you know, she probably does feel like she's doing the right thing. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll just see. Hopefully she goes ways and something sticks. I don't know. Some people are ready for the information. Some aren't. She was actually all right. Like I said, I think if I'd stayed a bit more heart centered, I think it's easier for people to listen to what you have to say. And that's the goal here. That's the goal. So, right. So that's that. That was crap, but. Not even the right person. So that's that. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was the protests in London. So I've been to a couple of protests now. It's the cat. Been to a couple of protests in London, which I think is amazing day out. So I definitely, it's so natural, go there. It's like a festival. I'm all for it. If anybody's not been yet, I just think it's an amazing thing to do. What I wanted to say was the vast majority of people already know this. However, when you put people in a group, it's easy to adopt that group mentality. So, the solution, again, is to love. It's to love. So, what you fight, you become. And there's very, very, very minority of people that's fighting, but just bear that in mind. What you fight, you become. We're all one. And equally, demanding people take off their masks is, in my opinion, as just as fascist as demanding people wear them. So just bear that in mind, because I heard some people saying that, and it kind of feels to me to be a little bit hypocritical. On the march, I took a megaphone, and more or less all I was saying on the megaphone was, follow your heart, we're all one. What you fight, you become. If you want peace, you must be peaceful. And all of these kinds of things. And the amount of people that were coming up to me and hugging me and telling me, yeah, that's the message. If what I'm saying now resonates with you in terms of love being the solution, please, on the march, find your voice, buy a megaphone and share that message. Because what I experienced was large numbers of people saying to me, the people know, that's what people want to hear. But there wasn't enough people, in my opinion, on the megaphones sharing that message. If you've got another 5, 10, 20 people sharing that, the movement would go to an even greater level. And more people would join, because that's the energy. So again, if that message resonates with you, bring a megaphone, find your voice. It's cool as well, it makes the day a bit more, even more entertaining. You get meet loads of people, it's brilliant. So yeah, finally, right, I've been looking into this whole conspiracy world for, I don't know, I watched Zeitgeist about 20 years ago. Then I got quite heavily, I kind of put it on the back burner, and then about 5 years ago, synchronistically, things kind of sped up and I started going deep down the rabbit hole. So when I speak about this, I'll speak till I'm blue in the face about this to people. And when I speak to people about it, I pitch it at their level, because some things they're too far out for people. So I come in at whatever level seems, in my opinion, most relatable to them. So that might be like 9/11, Building 7, or it might be the PCR test, or it might be central banking system, something along those lines, and just to tweak their interest, and then might send them some information. But there's certain things that I don't really talk about to people, because they'll be like, what? But I'm gonna have it. Now, I considered myself to be quite a grounded individual. I work in real estate. I'm a day trader, so look, I've got my little office here. If I can just spin it around, I'm watching the stock market as we speak. These are quite like grounded occupations to be involved in. So my head's on my shoulders. What I wanted to say was that David Icke, he talks about some quite far out stuff. He talks about Saturn being Satan and reptilians and all this kind of stuff. Now, specifically these two things, Saturn and reptilians, I knew about these things when I was a kid. Right, I must have been definitely less than 10, between 5 and 7, I would say. And I had a couple of experiences where I was kind of on my own, and these intuitive knowings just came to me, and I knew with 100% certainty, right, these things are going on. And I wasn't afraid of it. I was just in awe. I just got it. I just knew. But it wasn't until much later, until I reached about 30, and then I discovered David Icke, and I got into his work, and I was like, you know what, I knew all that. I didn't know the specifics, but I knew it was there. I knew it was there. So the reason why I share this is, one, because I just feel good saying it. Two, because there's something, in my opinion, there's something bigger going on here, right? Bigger than protest, which I love. I'm going to go to the next one. Bigger than this control system. Bigger than the police officer just knocked on my door. There's a force going on here that is unstoppable. It's unstoppable. And I wanted to share that because I think at times it can seem like overwhelming, or like we're fighting a losing battle. But this force that's moving things forward, like I say, is what will decide the way that this ends up. I don't know how I knew these things when I was a kid, but I just knew them. And then, my life has been so synchronistic, especially the last 5 years. I don't know if, synchronicity is sped up, or I'm just more aware of it. But yeah, since I've been a kid, these things have been sort of happening, but never more so than now. And if there wasn't something greater going on here, then I wouldn't have known about those things from a young age. And I know that might seem quite far out for some people, but this is my reality. Do you know what I mean? It's my reality. And it is what it is. So, yeah. All right, I think that's everything. Yeah, there's no better time to be alive, in my opinion. We're going to see some amazing changes in the world. It might take some time, and I think it's going to have to get worse before it gets better. But recently, I was trying to think of things that I was grateful for in regards to the pandemic, scamdemic, and one of the things was that it was more, as a result of the pandemic, more and more people were open to this information. So, yeah, all right, bye-bye.